All right, guys, we're back in my 2024 Civic Touring with 7,300 miles. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my impressions on what it's been like to own over the past year and why I'm getting rid of it after a year and 7,300 miles. This is not going to be a traditional POV video that I film normally on my channel, just because of the timing, and I just kind of want it to be short and sweet. This car is not all bad, but there's a lot of things that are a deal breaker in here that is just not acceptable, and I plan on getting rid of it just because of these issues. And the number one thing is the steering. This vehicle has great steering, when it worked properly from the factory. It handles great, feels great, but there's a huge recall on these, pretty much every single Civic. The worm gear in the power steering unit was put in incorrectly, and it causes a sticky steering feel. Well, yeah, I had that issue for a couple months. I had to wait for parts to get in, and you go down the road driving like normal. The steering wheel would be center, and you typically do your micro adjustments to keep the vehicle center, right? Well, the steering wheel would not move. It would get stuck, and you had to jerk it in order for it to move. And I brought it into the dealer. They fixed it, did their recall work on it, and it's still not right. It is very notchy. The sticky steering's gone, but it's very notchy, and that's pretty much all they can do. I mean, there's nothing that they can do about it. It's just how it's going to have to be. That's a big disappointment because it's not like what it was from the factory. The second thing is the rattles. The rattles in here are unacceptable. It's not. I paid $30,000 for this car. I paid under MSRP on it, but it's unacceptable. And I'll insert a clip of the infotainment system rattling. And I've brought that to the dealer a couple times, and it's not the dealer's fault because every single time I bring it in, it doesn't want to do it. It's very random on when it does, and when it does, it is annoying. And I typically like to drive silent sometimes, after a long day. You got to clear out your head. You just want to drive in silence. Well, I can't do that because I have this rattling. I have the seatbelt tensioner over here rattling. I have something down here rattling, and I have something over here rattling as well. And the most annoying one is the infotainment. It's the famous one. Pretty much all 11th gens have that. And I've shoved stuff behind here to try to fix it, and nothing seems to do the trick. It's really annoying, unacceptable. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, it's a $30,000 car. It's an econo-box car. No, that's not a good argument. This is unacceptable. We need to start calling manufacturers out on building inferior quality vehicles. I had a $14,000 Hyundai Elantra that I bought brand new in 2018 that has 80,000 miles on it that I sold to my family member, and it still does not have any rattles on it. I have a 1999 Ford Crown Victoria that has less rattles than this thing does. It just makes me extremely angry that argument is even an argument. Unacceptable. Third thing, my passenger door lock stopped working a couple days ago. Now it is, but it was making some grinding, funny noise. Just stopped working. I don't know why, but yeah, that was another issue I ran into. Another thing that's kind of annoying as well is my HVAC fan. It sounds like there is a leaf stuck in it. It's really loud when it's really cold outside, but it is another one of those things. I like to drive in silence. Typically, I'm fine with blower fan, like a fan noise, but that literally sounds like there is a leaf stuck in the blower motor. I've took the cabin air filter out, and I found a bunch of plastic that was in the fan itself, and I pulled that out, and that seemed to help a little bit. But yeah, still got some issues there. So as I was editing this video, I came across a picture on my camera roll that I wanted to include in the video. The Honda sensing on the Civic is strictly camera-based. So your adaptive cruise control, forward collision warning, all that stuff is strictly out of the camera, out of the front windshield up there. And when it's foggy or your window's a little bit frosted, there's a warning that constantly pops up on the dash with a chime. And, it varies. If it's suddenly not foggy, then foggy, it'll keep doing it over and over and over and over again until the viewing conditions are acceptable. It's really annoying. It's not really a quality issue. It's just more of an annoyance that I wanted to include in the video because, you know, it's one of those things that you really won't experience on a test drive, but I wanted to include in here so you guys have a real world experience of just kind of how annoying it is. And I'll probably play a, you know, simulation of how many times it goes off during my speech in this clip so you guys can kind of get an idea of how annoying it is when you're driving this thing in fog or with a slightly frosted windshield. The next thing I want to talk about is road noise. I ended up changing the tires from the Goodyear Eagle Sports to Continental Extreme Contact DWS 06 Plus, and that seemed to help a little bit. I think it just changed the pitch of the tire growl down the road rather than the Goodyear Eagle Sports. But it is an extremely loud vehicle. You're at 70 decibels, 75 decibels on the highway. Even with the Touring model, with the sound dampening underneath the vehicle, it's just not a very quiet and refined ride. And I knew that going into it. Don't get me wrong, I knew it, but it's just something to keep in mind. That if you're buying this for a quiet and refined ride, it's not. It's definitely not. Now, I do like the car. I do like how it looks. I think it's one of the best looking sedans on the road today. I mean, it just looks absolutely amazing. You know, I ended up putting the tinted windows on it and, you know, those new tires, and it looked really sharp. Ceramic coated it as well. You know, you got plenty of space back here as well for passengers. Never had any issues with, you know, passenger comfort back here. You know, you don't have rear vents, but that's okay. But you at least got USB ports. You know, plenty of space in the trunk as well. Overall, you know, it's a great car. I really do like the car, but the quality is just not there compared to other vehicles I've owned. And I can't live with all those rattles anymore. Really a deal breaker. That on top of the steering is almost makes this car undrivable. I know I kind of sound just like one of those guys that just complains about everything, but I really think you have to drive this car to actually understand, you know, just how annoying it actually is to drive, unfortunately. Especially with the steering issue. So will I be buying another Honda? Absolutely. I have a 2024 Honda CR-V that is flawless. It's a great car. This car, I think, was just built on a Friday or something, because the quality of the materials in here, while they seem to be great for, you know, feel, it's definitely not holding up to the test of time. If this was a 5-10-year-old vehicle, maybe, but for this being a 1-year-old vehicle with 7,300 miles, this is unacceptable. You know, might as well do a MPG check. Out of the 7,300 miles there, I got 35.5 miles a gallon, so not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Stay tuned for more videos. I didn't want to come across too much as negative Nancy, but I did want to call out a manufacturer. Yeah, Honda, do better with these Civics. You have a great platform here. This is a great car. You just need to button down your quality standards. You really do, because it's unfortunate that we have to put up with this. I know I'm not the only one that's traded in a vehicle because of these problems, but this is unfortunate that we have to put up with this as people who paid you almost $30K. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.